Hello, I'm Dave Peach, and this is the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. See them in person or at tricountybank.net. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Crawfordsville Peachcast. We are presented by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. Also sponsored by Central Indiana Rubber. Power for you. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello.
Todd. With us today, Dave Meyer.
Hello, Dave.
With us today, Kurtis Broadstreet.
Hello, Dave.
Kurtis, you are the editor.
Yes.
Along with Dane of our wonderful podcast.
And Catherine, yeah.
Catherine, too. So, Dave and I go over questions. Mm-hmm. The show is indeed timed to the 10th of a second. And the question we wanted to ask you, you are the editor of the Crawfordsville Peachcast here at the local level. What's the second best thing that you get to do all week?
The second best thing that I get to do all week is
second best, because we know what the best thing is.
Yes,
but what's the second best? Because we want to know about you. We want to find out more about you.
But to make sure that I do the best thing, which is, of course, editing the Peachcast, I have to make sure. So it kind of ties into the editing of the Peachcast. The number two thing, it's intertwined. You can't really separate your life and the editing of the Peachcast. No. And in correlation and causation to editing the Peachcast is to make sure that I edit my life as well and make sure that I'm fed, watered. I'm making sure I go to school regularly. I'm educating myself.
He goes to Purdue.
Yes. And I'm graduating by the time of this recording next month. A couple months. Graduating in May. Just making sure that everything is in order with not just the legendary Crawfordsville Peachcast, but also the broadcast, the Broad Streets broadcast.
Got it. So really, though, priorities: Peachcast, number 1, eat, number 2, sleep, number 3, and then study, number 4.
And study, number 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, study would, if it were a top 10 list, maybe number 9. But I mean, it's still far above the 100 other things that needs to be spliced, edited, making sure that's, can that thing be said or no?
Exactly. People say, is he the arbiter, Dave?
Yes. The middleman.
He vetoed the Cologuard skit.
Yeah. Just took it off the books.
He said no.
Everyone will never hear it except for us.
He said no. He said no.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you've done the Cologuard.
I haven't yet, Dave.
Haven't yet.
I went the Ostomy way.
Okay, sorry. That's popular too. But let me just say, it's something you will never forget.
Yes,
you will never forget it.
I love the little character though.
Yeah,
he's very friendly. He's very friendly. Yes,
it belies what exactly.
He looks like he knows. He looks like yes. He looks like
what's in the box, Dad?
Yeah.
He looks what's in the box, Dad?
Yeah. Taking that to the UPS. It's like a little bit of it's a story that really you should only relate to yourself in your own mind. You know what I mean? You should relate.
Yes.
But moving right along. Yesterday, I heard a guy say, "I'm not very good at math." Okay.
Just one person.
People readily admit I'm not good at dancing. I'm not good at math. I'm not good at golf. I'm a bad singer.
Okay.
Do people ever say, you know what? I'm pretty good at math. Have you ever heard anybody say that? I'm good at math. Ever in your life?
I think the people that don't say that.
Yeah, I feel like they show it more than tell it, because you can see, especially like, Purdue is engineering, which involves a lot of math and a lot of numbers. So I feel like they have to really show that they're good at math instead of just saying, because I absolutely know no one that says, hey, I'm good at this thing. And then they never show it.
But why are people so readily, why do they so readily say, I'm not good at math?
I think just to like add clarification to like, hey, don't trust me in this realm, maybe trust me in this realm.
Yeah, but we're talking about like keeping score at a basketball game, not good at math. I mean, what really is the peril of, he had 14. Oh, actually he had 13 points. Oh, wow. That's big. You better get better at math, buddy.
Anyway, kid's not going to go far.
Yeah. And as far as golf, why is everybody bad at golf? Why do people, I'm not very good at golf. And it's like they joke and okay, we get it. But I mean, everybody says it.
Right. Golf is hard. People don't say I'm good at surgery, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and golf is the sporting equivalent of that.
I got it. And of course, dancing and singing. Nobody really says I'm good at dancing or singing.
Right. Sober is the term that people forget.
Yes.
Sober.
So
because they can't remember it.
Well, you don't care as much sometimes if you are, slightly inhibited. What's the word, Dave? Your inhibitions have been lowered.
You've got it. I got it. But I just note that a lot of people readily say, I've said readily 8 times, but a lot of people will say just right off the bat, I'm not good at math.
And I can say that, but try not to lead with it.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing. Oh, Kurtis may be able to weigh in on this a little bit. Okay. Bob Seger. Mm-hmm. Do you know Bob Seger?
I do. Yes.
Okay, Bob Seger. Bob Seger is really popular. Mm-hmm. Would you admit?
Yeah, Night Moves. Others. I forgot at the moment. Yes, Others.
His career maxed before Kurtis was born, I've got to believe.
Well, it did, and I know that, but Bob Seger is a rock legend. Bob Seger has a treasure trove of hits.
Treasure trove of hits, Detroit bass, known for that. One of the guys that kept his music off of digitized platforms the longest.
Now, let me ask you a question. Because he can really draw a crowd, no question about it. Why do we not mention Bob Seger in the same breath of a Billy Joel or an Elton John? What? I mean, where is he?
Bruce Springsteen.
Why is he not there? Why is he not there? Because he was as prevalent on the radio as those artists were, and he sold out so many shows at Market Square Arena. He could have played there for a year. He could have played the whole year.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he get the love?
Great question. One, I think he was, even when he was well known, I think he was still kind of considered even when he was a lot of song on the charts, he was still considered more of a Detroit guy, and he wasn't on the national level as big. The other thing I'd say, nothing against him, he was not if you think back, he's not a guy that did, I don't remember a lot of Bob Seger videos. Okay. I don't remember a lot of kind of Bob Seger concert film footage kind of stuff. I saw him in concert. He was incredible. But I also know, somebody have to check into, but I think that he, at a certain point in his career, and I want to say this began in the late 80s or early 90s, but I think he was raising a young kid, and he basically didn't tour or do anything for a long time. And I think that may, today, have more to do with how we view him than anything else. Because, he had, I would say at one time, Bob Seger and Tom Petty, to me, were like different ends of the rock and roll kind of, spectrum, with people like Springsteen, and then, different kinds of Southern rock. And then you got your Steely Dans of the world and your progressive stuff with Yes and stuff. But Bob Seger, Tom Petty, Mellencamp, those were, the rock and roll guys on the radio for the most of 70s and the 80s. So
I kind of agree with you on that video thing. You know what Bob Seger looks like, and when you think about it, he looks like Michael McDonald with all black hair.
Yeah.
You think about it, but Mellencamp, You know
Yeah.
Elton John, you know Billy Joel, but Seeger kind of the silent killer.
More towards the end of that spectrum, Dave, is Steve Miller, right? Steve Miller could back his truck up and hit you, and you wouldn't know that it was Steve Miller. And Seeger's just a little bit more visibly recognizable.
I guess I think about these things a lot. Now, Kurtis, one thing I want to see if you've heard this phrase.
Okay.
As we move, we just rapid fire here. I read this in conjunction with college sports. Somebody said, the rabbit got the gun. The situation is different now that the rabbits got the gun. And the thinking is, I guess, that the college athletes have the gun and the coaches are powerless. And the coaches, every once in a while, the old coaches will get on there and start railing and say, they're ruining the game. It's terrible.
Yes.
And then the comment section on social media will say, yeah, the rabbit's got the gun now. So have you heard this? Rabbit's got the gun,
No,
Kurtis. You
I
have
absolutely
not.
have not, but it's pretty amazing to think about. Just try to picture that.
Have you heard this, David?
No, and does this
me
go
look it
back
up.
in its
Go ahead.
in
You
its
guys talk. I'm gonna
origin?
look it up, yeah.
I think Bugs Bunny, Dave. That's what I'm thinking. Isn't it?
yeah.
Rabbit's got the gun.
I feel like that would be more of a Looney Tunes thing because
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny does have Elmer Fudd. You have what was his name?
You guys are going light.
Sam.
You guys are going very lighthearted on this. I'm going to look it up. You guys have a conversation.
Okay.
We're going to have a conversation
Yeah,
about.
Because it totally does fit within the Bugs Bunny spectrum. I can see.
Well, okay, you're a college student.
go.
What do you think
yeah,
about
go ahead.
college athletes making money?
Me personally, I'm not a big college sports individual, and even though I do know Purdue is doing good, I mean, obviously, at least right now. But I mean, it's good. It's good that they're starting to build their own brand.
Sure.
You know,
Why not?
Because that's pretty much what the NFL has been doing for years. They all have their own brand deals and likenesses. And I feel like being able to make, I wouldn't say a living, because it's definitely more than a living, depending on who the college athlete is. I definitely think that it's good that they're building their own brand. So that way, in the events that they do branch out to professional leagues, they're more recognized and more likely to go into bigger pastures.
Okay, it's ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Oh,
And this is from
Someone's very proud of doing it.
Phoenix English Lang.com. I don't want to.
okay.
English.
Is this Dave? Is this a song of sorts?
I don't know. This
It's like a poem.
It explains it. The main point
Okay.
of this saying is that it shows how the people who used to be in control feel
Yes.
uncomfortable or not happy when they end up on the receiving end of power or revenge. So it's a perfect fit for a cranky college basketball coach.
Oh, and there's plenty of those left, Dave. I yes.
So you hadn't heard about it. So I'm
No,
actually
this is the
I'm
very
actually
first time. I
okay.
do love the infographic that's on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it clearly
Bugs
shows
Bunny.
a rabbit packing heat, but
Okay, so should we each go out and try to drop that and see how it's received, or what do we need to do here?
It's just something that we point out for your own thought.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy. I think it's a little heavy.
yeah, that
Little
got
heavy,
very
yeah.
I never would have thought that a saying like that would get so philosophical. Now I feel
Yeah, but it's perfect for college basketball. So you could use it in the college basketball, not hurt anybody. But I learned from watching it. You got to read those comment sections. And one more thing, Dave.
Yes, Dave.
We all love to go on Instagram and follow things that are. They ask you, the ball hits in a certain area or something like that, and they ask you, but it's a sports thing. And, is it fair or foul? Is it whatever? And they ask you, you make the call. And then in the comment section, you say it's a fair ball, it's a foul ball. I noticed this one guy, it's called, what is it? You've got it up on your phone. What is it?
I've got it up. It's okay. It's Got Wood Baseball, Dave.
Got Wood Baseball. Okay.
Yes.
And
Got _Wood _baseball.
Okay. Now, I have 250 followers on Twitter, and 220 of them are probably not followers, if you know what I mean. Okay. I have to block them. Well, anyway, no, maybe, but we move on. How many people have seen this ball, fair or foul? Is it a triple play or what? How many people have seen it, David?
Let's see here. According to this, 35,000. 35,000 loved it. 8,000 just talked about it, and then there's another 3,500 that have shared it. So a lot of people, Dave.
On a little baseball that goes down the third base line, first base line, and it's like, is it fair or foul? Is it a triple play? Is it? What are we doing wrong, David?
Oh, there's a lot, Dave.
Or what is baseball got Wood doing right?
Well, apparently they've got the time and the inclination to create these compelling little stories that somehow find the nexus of our algorithm addiction, attraction to something. I don't know. I mean, I get a lot of cat videos.
But but that to me was extremely high for something that fair or foul, triple play.
It doesn't seem like that many people would stop and spend the time, especially, if this is the kind of world, if you have kids, you're in for a little while and then you're okay to be out of. So I don't know I wouldn't see this as being one of the more attractive, pull through promotions in the online world.
It's something that compels that many people to like it. I am insanely jealous, but that's just me.
Yes.
Everybody else lives in a world and, they're fully, I'm a functional, jealous person.
You're a functional, jealous person.
That's
of course. This is
last name.
Just some quality work.
The dreaded typo. Last name. Well, that's segment one. Kurtis, thanks for joining us. Oh, today we should say it is Untoasted. It is. We should have said that at the beginning.
No.
Tom Hanks, early Tom Hanks. Nothing in common.
All right.
It's coming up next on the. Oh, thanks, Kurtis, for being here.
No problem, Dave. Thank you for having me.
Back to the.
Good again to be in your presence, Kurtis.
Oh, thank you.
Dave Meyer, Kurtis Broadstreet, Dave Peach, Crawfordsville Pete's Cast. We're back with Untoasted after this.
Bazing. Wow, that's fun to say. Bazing is Tri-County Bank's Smart Rewards checking account. With Bazing, you have cell phone protection, ID theft protection, roadside assistance, discounts at area businesses, and more. This is Bria French. Contact me or any of our great employees to begin your entry into Bazing banking. Terms and conditions may apply. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Crawfordsville Pete's Cast. It is Untoasted. Movie number 26, Nothing in Common. Tom Hanks, Jackie Gleason, Hector Elizondo, Eva Marie Saint, Sula Ward, and Bess Armstrong, the All-American Girl. Dave?
Ah, wow. I did not know that. And I know there were a few other cameos in that cast. One, Dave, you had to look clearly, but Homer Simpson. Did you realize that Homer Simpson was part of the pitch team? Yeah. And the other thing, of course, Carl the janitor from The Breakfast Club. That was the video director guy.
How could I forget about him?
Yeah, these are all lined up. No, this is Tom Hanks, not far removed from Bachelor Party Tom Hanks, right?
Cuckoo, crazy, nutty Tom Hanks. This was his 7th movie. He was 30 years old when it was released. And, directed by Gary Marshall. Yeah. And I got to say that, when I think back, Tom Hanks got a Kennedy Medal of Honor like in 2014.
Wow.
And he's still getting, now it's 2014. He's still making movies. Yeah. This guy, how did it happen? How did he go from a sitcom in no time, maybe 1 or 2 movies, he became, we were talking about this, Jimmy Stewart, Clark Gable, Cary Grant, Paul Newman, Robert Redford. How did he get that stature so quickly?
You know, it actually, this movie, and the next movie has mixed reviews, I would say. But this movie, because it does have, you know, he was just known from kind of the comedy thing before this. This is the first movie that he had to kind of be serious in, right? And so even though this wasn't, I think, a big box office move, I think it showed him to be more of an actor to more people. And then I'm not sure which of the movies, we'd have to go back to his IMDb, but, you know, it wasn't too far after this that we are in Forrest Gump territory. And then after Forrest Gump came Philadelphia, right? And those were back-to-back Oscars.
Well, he's got, and I looked at them. I could look at the whole list, but I think along the way you've got Turner and Hooch, you've got Shelley Long with The Suburbs. That might have been before,
right.
very
Suburbs,
close.
Yeah,
and then he's got, of course, Bonfire of the Vanities, which wasn't a big hit to say the least. Yeah. But he just kept plugging away, going. A-list movie, Toy Story, all that. But it really was. He was shot out of a cannon at the early part of his career, and he has never, ever, ever come off the A-list. Ever. Still to this day, in 2024, where we are right now. I mean, you know, he'll play Mr. Rogers, or he'll do a grumpy old man in some sort of a neighborhood auto guy. Yeah, I mean, and you know, he just, and that's, I don't know of any performer that has gone for 40 plus years, maybe Paul Newman, where his phone never stops ringing.
Right. And you mentioned Paul Newman. And of course, if you look at Hanks, okay, he worked with Gleason in this movie. And this was done in the latter part of 1985, came out in 1986. And Gleason is gone in the summer of 87. So he works with Gleason. And then he later works with Paul Newman, right, in Road to Perdition, where he plays basically a total heavy, right, on a kind of a weird situation where he's on the road with his kid. And so, you know, he also, along this way, he worked with a lot of kind of the old guard. Similar
to the old boxer, or I should say the new boxer, like a Mike Tyson fighting Larry Holmes, or Larry Holmes fighting Muhammad Ali, kind of a passing of the torch type of thing. So this movie, I'm going to start out with one line and then let you take it away as far as the plot goes. The movie begins with an incredibly cool line. Colonial Airlines, the official airline of the Indiana Pacers.
Yes.
Was that a dig? Was that a dig at the Hoosier State, or what was the deal?
That was the first thing I heard, and I gotta say, it was a definite dig, right?
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
I think so. It was,
you know, it was so much right there, and this is also right away classic '80s movie music montage.
Had a little bit of that.
What about all the shots of Chicago? I mean, how many times can we say you're in Chicago? It's a merchandise mart, Chicago. Here's O'Hare. They're flying into O'Hare. Here's, you know, it's like everything Chicago, you know, whenever Gleason's walking, it's downtown merchandise mart, you know, Daily Plaza, you know, he gets, he's having a bad day, gets on the taxi and, you know, takes a ride up the river.
It's, it worked for Ferris Bueller's Day Off and all those,
Sure.
what was the one director did all the movies in Chicago?
John Hughes.
Thank you. Should know, I'm sorry.
Well, no. This is okay.
Even the
To try
movie's
to
like
describe
About
this.
Last Night. That was in Chicago, wasn't it?
That was based on the play was Sexual Perversity in Chicago, which you don't make that as a movie title, even in 1980.
No, but you stick with Milagro Beanfield War.
Right, because that's going to draw people. Bob Redford, Dave.
Would you
We
go
can't
over the
question
plot of
Bob.
this movie?
Okay, the plot is, and it's kind of a funky thing. So the quickie is basically David Basner, okay, is the Tom Hanks character, and he's a shallow, childish yuppie who has recently been promoted to the creative director at a prominent Chicago ad agency.
You might know something about this, Dave.
I could. I do, actually. But what has happened is it starts out where it's like Tom Hanks and he's that Tom Hanks guy and everybody's and it's in there and Dave, they're in that bar that was in every 80s Chicago movie with the basketball court, right? Okay, so that's in there. But quickly it's like, what? He's got a father and it sounds like Jackie Gleason doing a character. Hello. You know, it's on the voicemail, and then he finally picks up, and then you got this whole other story. So this is where this movie, it starts out as a wise guy comedy, and it ends up being kind of a heartbreaking story of this childish yuppie who's trying to understand his bitter, lonely parents. And if that sounds like a movie you want to see, Dave and I could tell you about Nothing in Common.
Jackie Gleason, 70 at the time, and Tom Hanks, 30 at the time.
And Jackie, those were hard miles, right? That was a lot of stopping and going in the city kind of thing for Jackie.
An update on the parents. Mom left Dad after 36 years.
Okay.
Ultimately, Dad gets fired, and then we find out that Dad's got serious health issues, and that plays into the career path of Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Or David Basner.
Or David Basner. And let's say first the kind of the subplot of this is Tom Hanks, and Celia Ward is the like marketing director or whatever for Colonial Airlines, and her father, Barry Corbin, former astronaut from what was the show on CBS, Dave? From
Northern Exposure?
Northern Exposure.
You know,
exactly.
Barry Corbin, I'm sorry, Barry, I'm sorry for not mentioning you at the start of the show, but I'm sure you're pretty much used to it by now.
He is, Dave. And I don't think there's a hair on his head these days, because when I've seen him, the voice you recognize, but the face has gotten a little bigger, a lot more skin. He's harder to cut. But okay, so anyway, the subplot is they're trying to win this business. And then now here's the part where my inside knowledge, I had a little, problem. All this is leading up to doing a commercial. And then they get to this one point and they say, now you got to go to the board. I'm going, wait a minute. You would not be pitching to the board and then at all this work going into the commercial or you'd be past that, way past that. So, and it also did not make sense that he would have to go do that if all that had already been, basically, they bought off onto it. So anyway, that's just me, Dave. That's just me. And a little hokey here and there in a few areas. One of the other lines besides the Pacers that I caught, they had no lights at Wrigley Field petitions they were handing out.
That's getting pretty close. Right? Yeah, no light. That was a big deal, though. Was it 89 the first? Something
like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And that was huge. That was huge, and obviously they never looked back. Now, one casting note that Hector Elizondo, who plays Tom Hanks's boss or one of the owners of the agency.
He's 87 now.
87 years old.
Now
and Dave, he was in every one of Gary Marshall's movies. Gary Marshall made 18. He directed 18 features. Okay.
Did he do Pretty Woman?
Yes, this was his third. So if you go back and look at any Gary Marshall movie, you're going to find Hector Elizondo. He called him his good luck charm. So he always had a role for Hector.
Hector was Hector is he's one of those people that you see in movies, but I think he's kind of elevated to where people know who he is. And I think a lot of that came from the memorable role in Pretty Woman. I think that probably was the one that, that's Hector Elizondo.
And he was perfect. Oh, right.
He should have. Was there an Academy Award nomination or something for something? I mean, he was so good in Pretty Woman, and I love him in anything really. He's one of those guys that you cheer for.
Yeah, no, he is, and the fact that Gary Marshall, who this was early on in the Gary Marshall, he had not made Pretty Woman, which after he made that, obviously he made a lot, but more. But he at this point was still pretty much still known for Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy. He was a TV guy, a TV showrunner. And now he, went into directing movies, which at the time was people were doing, right? Because a lot of that was happening in different levels.
Hard to believe that Gary is, of course, gone, and so is Penny Marshall.
Yes, yes. But no, great comedic talents that we enjoyed quite a bit.
Hey, don't forget, I was going to say Penny Marshall directed A League of Their Own.
And Big.
And right? Tom Hanks was in that, and she said that he had to gain weight because he had to look older.
Because he was the washed-up player.
He was the washed-up player. He was the manager. But, I mean, this thing just, the connections are incredible. But one thing is for certain is, Tom Hanks' incredible movie career of Tom Hanks, and that kind of just, I don't know, it's living rent-free in my head right now. But we got to get back to this movie, David. Nothing in Common. Mm-hmm. It did have that kind of, at one point, as you mentioned, he was kind of like the Bill Murray character. Then it became heavy. I guess this movie, as you said, wasn't the big box office smash. What made it not be a smash? How about that?
I think at the time, I think people probably, if you look at the poster and you look at how it was marketed, Gleason and Hanks, kind of facing off, and Hanks had done, bachelor party kind of romp characters. So I think this was marketed as a comedy, set in Chicago in the 80s. When in reality, there's a lot of serious subject matter as far as dealing with, parents and parents that didn't have a good relationship and are, at a certain point in their life. So I think there's a heaviness to this that I think that they tried to basically hide in the promotion of the movie, and that might have contributed. I think the movie it ends up being likable, but as I watch it just now, it feels dated, especially in the kind of patriarchal kind of, sexist. Tom Hanks and Dad are both, basically chasing females kind of variety. It felt heavy in that, and none of that was that central to the story, I guess. So that's where it feels dated.
And it's hard to see Tom Hanks as without a shirt on, being
exactly
that kind of thing. It's almost,
right.
There's something about it that just doesn't quite particularly.
He's not that actor, that character.
No,
you couldn't even see his kid doing this.
If he would have, if you put Charlie Sheen in this. It might be a whole different kind of movie.
Yes,
probably wouldn't be. We might still be doing it. I'm going to pick off a couple things before we get to soundtrack, which I think is incredible about this movie. Cella Ward, is that how you say it?
I was calling her Cela. I don't know.
Cela Ward. She's doing her best Phyllis George impersonation in this movie with the hair. I mean,
the hair, man. That's the other part.
Her hair is something I cannot. I mean, wow. I mean, I don't know how long that takes to make, but man, that is some ferocious hair.
Yeah, no, she was big at this time, and she was also shortly after this in the NBC show Sisters.
126 episodes, baby.
Yeah, so
Teddy.
This is part of her run, and she was a big part of that dramatic character as well. So.
She also did a great job in House as House's wife. On occasion, she would come in, and she's one of those people. I guess you would just call her an acting professional, where you know she's going to come in and she is going to do everything that you would want a character to do, and she does it. She's done it at so many different roles. Pretty incredible.
She can definitely be like classy, and there's something about, she has a good presence. So she's a good foil for this character of Hanks.
And when I think of Bess Armstrong, who is a little bit older than Tom Hanks, she was born. I'm looking at people's ages. She was born in 1953. Hanks was born in 56. Sella Ward was born in 56. But Bess Armstrong, to me, when I see her, she is the quintessential, how many TV pilots have you been in, person?
Yeah. Oh, that's so good, because the face is recognizable you look like, maybe it's you or other people that look a lot like you that I would see a lot around this time in kind of minor roles, or the girlfriend or the friend of the girlfriend who gets left behind or whatever it is. But yeah, Dave, that's exactly right.
Bess Armstrong, 70 years old now. And then the last line of the movie, you're the last person I ever thought would ever come through for me.
It's pretty good, because up to that point, Gleason doesn't really ever say much that indicates love or appreciation, right? Because a lot of times that his son's trying to help him, he's fighting any type of counsel or even obviously what he needed medically. So that's kind of the big finish, really.
For me, I like the movie. I like seeing young Tom Hanks. I love seeing Barry Corbin, Hector Elizondo, Jackie Gleason. I mean, it was one of those movies that, it wasn't, it was definitely flawed, but it was good to see all those people in it, and it made me feel good, Dave.
Okay. No, it has a lot of interesting aspects to it, from the actors to the story to the soundtrack that we're going to get to. And it's very much a product of its time, is the way I see it today. There's a lot of things, because the core story might be better. It may have been a little ahead of its time in how they tried to tell it, because kind of having the dimensional characters and, I would say, like, Hanks's character, when that was probably viewed in the theaters, was thought of to be childish, but not anything more than that, right? And it almost today, some of that behavior negates how good he's supposed to be as a creative director. So that's kind of a little bit of the disconnect. But I'm like you, because of it has a warmth through it. Hanks, Gleason's last movie, Gary Marshall, who I liked so much of his work. It's worth it. It's worth checking out.
And Dave, one more thing: lay off the Pacers.
Oh yeah, come on. I
mean, we have enough problems, with the Pacers. I mean, come on, lay off the Pacers.
This was in the era
that wasn't fair.
Steve Stepanovich, I think, Dan.
That was not fair. I mean, come on. We're back with more coming up on the Crawfordsville Peachcast.
Central Indiana Rubber Products provides the power for you. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, keeps farm equipment and local manufacturing processes running with gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Employee-owned and always customer-focused. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West, 83 North, Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, power for you.
It's time for segment 3 of the Crawfordsville Peachcast. Welcome. We got a quick look at the. We don't have to. This is a podcast, right? We can take as long as we want.
It's the Peachcast.
There's no. Yeah, that's right. It's Peachcast. Soundtrack. Nothing in common. Very 80s. Sounded to me a little like L.A. Law / Magnum P.I.
Yeah, very much. Like, where is Mike Hill? Or no, or is that
Mike
right?
Post?
Mike Hill.
Mike Post.
Mike Post.
Yeah, Mike Post.
That did all those. He did St. Elsewhere. He did. It seems like all those.
Hill Street Blues.
Hill Street Blues. But it felt like this was a song. It's like, okay, write me a song with nothing in common in it, and. The Thompson Twins were hot, right? Hold Me Now was that a number 1, Dave?
Well, actually, David, Christopher Cross had the theme, kind of the opening. He was in the opening and he was in the close, and I kept waiting for the Thompson Twins, and they didn't enter. Their song wasn't played until after, like the extra scenes. So you were long out of the theater by the time they,
is what we heard at the open and what they kept coming back to thematically, right?
Yes. And so the Thompson Twins didn't, I don't know. They didn't get a very good placement in the soundtrack. We also heard Carly Simon. And we also
the montages, I believe, wasn't that the one when they were eating at the restaurant, maybe?
I think so. And let's see. Also, we had, we'll get to Richard Marx later, but there's a lot of piano, and it was reminiscent of St. Elmo's Spire, and I thought little Rocky IV, too, a little Rocky IV piano.
David Foster-ish.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, my. Yeah, no, this is when you look at who's on this soundtrack, Carly Simon, Aretha Franklin, The Kinks. That's a decent lineup.
Kurtis, are you familiar with any of these people?
No. I have heard of Carly Simon before, and I have heard of St. Elmo's Fire, both the movie and the song. But yeah, it sounds like it's a typical Tom Hanks movie soundtrack.
Kurtis is so well behaved among his elders.
He is just a model for
what he must say when we leave, when we go to bed at night.
Oh yeah,
and he gets to watch TV by himself and watch his own shows. How about Christopher Cross? Heard of Christopher Cross?
I think I may have heard of him. I'm not. It's one of those things where I have to listen to it, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that song," and then that's when the brain goes off and recognizes it.
Dave, was this the last gasp for Christopher Cross as far as movie, as far as a relevancy, as far as music goes, as far as on a national scale?
Yeah, historically, yes. This is probably proven to be. You and I both know that his debut album was as big as it can be when it came out. The song Ride Like the Wind got played 1 billion times, and there were at least 3 or 4 cuts off that first album.
Sailing, of course.
Sailing, yeah. That were heavy rotation play on the radio during that time. And I remember having his second album on cassette, which didn't have as many hits, but I liked it very much. So I was a Christopher Cross fan at that time.
Okay, David, we have to talk about the Richard Marx song.
Okay.
And what was going on the screen during the Richard Marx song. I am still, I believe, is there a way that we can erase that from our brains?
I don't think you can, because there's such a setup. Okay. It's and this is not a new concept. We're going to go to the boss's rich place, ranch on the weekend or whatever. So while they're out there, and then the boss decides, there's something about, I don't even know all these terms, but there's gelding, and that's not involved.
No.
So it would be a stud and a mare, I think, is the premise. So basically, they kick off.
I'm sorry.
I'm just sitting here.
They've got this Richard Marx.
Okay.
It's called Burning of the Heart. Okay, that's the song. Okay. And it's got like that kind of charged rhythm of Burning of the Heart. Richard Marx in the heyday of his Richard Marxness. Okay. And we're cutting back and forth between the horses.
I'm not going to laugh. I'm sorry. I'm going to listen to you. I'm
The
going to
horses
listen
looking at each other, and then Tom Hanks and Celia Ward looking at each other. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know how far we were going to go, but it did. It's a big scene in the movie.
Yeah.
The horse servicing montage to the Richard Marx music.
Well,
Kurtis,
yeah.
you might have to cut that.
Yeah, I may have.
No, don't cut anything. Don't cut anything. I mean, Richard Marx has to live with what he did.
Yes. We're not gonna.
He has to live with what he did, and the indelible memory that will be in my mind.
That scene is more than a minute. It's minutes.
Yeah.
So no getting away of, and it prominently featured. He might have been paid more than whatever the Cruzados got for 7 summers.
Okay, now Dave, while it's fresh in your mind, we're going to move away from the soundtrack of Nothing in Common, the movie that we just did.
Okay.
We got to hear the Bruce Hornsby story. I saw Bruce Hornsby recently at the Palladium in Carmel. Quite the venue, I must say.
Yes,
very nice.
Yes.
You've been there?
Yeah, I saw Louis Black, the comedian. I saw him over there.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a very nice place. So, just kind of an excuse me. I got tickets. Do you want them? I'm going to Bruce Hornsby. It was a little bit, I would have liked Bruce to say one time, thank you for buying my records in the 80s and making me a household name. It didn't happen. But that's where I'll leave that. Leave that. But you have a Bruce Hornsby story.
I have a Bruce Hornsby story. This came, let me think. It was probably sometime late 90s, early 2000s, working on a large a project for a corporation that would bring in large people. In other words, we had Huey Lewis and the News play a private concert after an awards ceremony. And for the main event at the I guess what they would call a general session of this large meeting for this corporation, Gregory Hines was the kind of the main event. The thing was themed with Step Up. So Gregory Hines was kind of the guy to kick it all off. Well, as part of that, I got to interview him and kind of direct him in that process. And he talked about other artists. At one point, I teed him up, and he'd worked with Gene Hackman, and Gene Hackman was his idol as far as acting. And then he talked about different people as far as dance, and as far as music, he said, my favorite is Bruce Hornsby. And he said, and I'll tell you why. He said, I love the way he plays. And he said, I've seen him so many times. And he talked about seeing him when he did not have a voice. Basically, he had lost his voice. And he said he had to reach down and do something that he didn't know he could do. And by us being there together, we were a part of it. And it was basically, he talked about how artists, really true artists, overcome physical barriers and create something even greater. So that was, again, I'm dropping names, but the late Gregory Hines talking about his affinity and affection for Bruce Hornsby.
Wow. So now I feel really bad about saying that about Bruce Hornsby, but
well, that was he was talking about the 80s, Bruce, probably, or the 90s, right?
I got it. I don't know. It's but so like you're working with Huey Lewis and Gregory Hines and they drop Bruce Hornsby in there.
I mean, of all the people that Gregory Hines was going to drop, I did not expect Bruce Hornsby.
Well, Dave, I guess that's the way it is.
That is the way it is, Dave. I don't know if we buttoned this one up perfectly.
We got it.
We did go out on a name dropper.
We got it. Bruce Hornsby. Well, we've got range.
We've got range.
And with that, folks, that will be the Crawfordsville Pete's Cast. Kurtis, thank you.
Thank you for having a lot of range.
Dave Meyer.
Oh, Kurtis is throwing heaters, Dave, there at the end.
We are presented by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892, and also by Central Indiana Rubber, power for you. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, Todd.
Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Pete's Cast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Tune in Thursday for a new episode on Apple or Spotify, and please like, subscribe, and download the Crawfordsville Pete's Cast. This podcast was produced and edited by Up Their Media and is a presentation of Fork Broadcasting Digital. I'm Dave Peach, inviting you to join me next week.